Hello and welcome to COOKBARN Live, coming to you on a Friday night from a beautifully sunny Somerset. I'm Rich Brown. Twice a week I invite a smorgasbord of passionate cooks, eccentric musicians and some gastronauts that I know for a couple of hours of drinking, chatting, music and dancing. Today I've got no one in, it's just me. We've got a 30-minute dinner party and today we're going to be creating a Moroccan feast. I'm a little bit worried about this because I think I might have bitten off a bit more than I could chew. So let's have a look at the menu, see what we're going to be cooking today. So we've got a harara spice soup. Now, this is a beautiful, beautiful soup. We're going to cook it with some lamb. We're going to cook it with some chickpeas and some lentils. After that, we've got some sweet Moroccan lamb. I've got I got a lamb rump and I've got some lamb chops that we're going to marinate up and we can do some wonderful things with that. We're going to have some fruity and nutty couscous. Let's see what that is. We've got a mint yogurt. And if I've got time, which I really, this is my favourite thing, if I've got time, I'm going to make a pistachio ice cream, can you believe, live on air, in 30 minutes. Can we do it? I don't think we can, but we'll have a go. So let's get the menu off and let's get started. So, cheers to everybody, first of all. Bit of a gin and tonic going on. So first things first, let's get our soup made. So we need a big pan. So let's get a big pan out. I'm going to use this pan here. Right, harara soup, let's talk about that first. This is a soup that you get all over Morocco. It's a different soup wherever you go. Sometimes it's got meat in it, sometimes it's just vegetables. It's a beautiful, beautiful soup, I do love it. We're going to be using just lamb today, so I've got 3 beautiful packets of lamb, courtesy of our friends from Field and Flowers. So first of all, well, we can have a look at them first if you want. We've got the lamb rump. Now, this is a sous vide lamb rump. There we go. This takes 18 minutes to cook in the oven. It's fantastic. We then have a lovely rack of lamb, which we're going to sort of decorate the whole thing with. Again, from Field and Flowers. And then for this first meal, we're going to be using some lamb mince, which is really difficult to get hold of. You can't get that in the supermarket. So anyway, let's get on. So first thing, we need to get that pan on. Get the pan on. We need to get some olive oil in there, just a tad to begin with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown off the meat. We've got to cook this in 30 minutes, so we've got to be sort of fairly quick about it all. So I'm going to open this meat up. I'm not going to use it all. I'm going to use probably just about half of it. So I'm going to squeeze about half of that lamb into my pan. All right, I'm going to put that back in the fridge. It keeps nice and cold. And then we're going to start chopping up some of the other things that we need for that. So it's got quite a few ingredients, but these are things that you can have in your store cupboard most of the time. So we're going to put some celery in this. So we're just going to chop off the ends of our celery. Now, because we've only got 30 minutes to make this, I'm going to be really quick. And one of the things, I'm going to cut everything really small. So got our celery going in. So we've got some celery, we've got some carrots. I'll put these carrots in. Now again, just chop these up into quarters. Let's chop them up again really small because we've got to get this to cook. There we go. Now, Moroccan food, I think most of you know, is quite sweet. Quite sweet, it's got quite a few nuts in it, quite a few dried fruit, so things like raisins and apricots. They use a lot of dried pulses, so we're going to be using chickpeas and lentils. We've got some onions to go in it, so let's get our meat going. All right. Now what I'm going to do with this lamb is I want to cook it right the way through, and I want to get some of those nice little bits. These nice crispy bits on the bottom of my pan because that's all flavour. So we're gonna cook this really, really quickly. And there's a little secret that we'll do in a minute with this. So that's cooking up. So I want to cook this lamb pretty much all the way through. There we go. So that's cooking. Right, in a minute we're going to put a little bit more olive oil in this. Let's just get it cooked off. I'm not going to put too much olive oil in it because actually what I want to do is I want to burn this off a little bit. what I want is I want those crispy black bits that you get at the bottom of your saucepan. My headphones are falling out. One of the things I love about Morocco is all the sort of exotic things that you use. I'm just going to show you these to camera. I mean, these are the two sort of main ingredients of some Moroccan food. This is pistachio nuts and pomegranate, grenadine I call it. They use an awful lot of mint. Obviously there's a lot of mint tea going on in Morocco. So we've got some mint, we've got some coriander, we've got some parsley, we've got some sultanas that I've got out the store cupboard. We've got some couscous, which is quite an interesting thing to make. It's really quick. So if you can see that, that's sort of burning off now, right? And I just want it to just burn the bottom of the pan a little bit, because that burnt flavour is really what we want to do. And we'll deglaze the pan with a tiny bit of water after that. So yeah, we're going good. So what I've done is I've chopped up, I've done this already because you don't want to see me crying on camera, but I've chopped up a white onion, and I've chopped up a red onion, just rough again, and that's going to go in the pan. So we're going to chuck all that in the pan. We're going to give that a stir. And we're going to put a little bit more olive oil in this. There we go. Now I can feel it's like sticking now, which is good. That's what I want. Right, all these vegetables are going to go in. So that's my carrot. So there's 2 carrots, 3 sticks of celery. They're all going to go in. Let's get all this up. I'm going to try and be really neat and tidy today as well. I'm going to get everything up. So I normally rush. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this in. I'm going to put this in the sink. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this in 30 minutes, but we'll see. Especially the ice cream. That's going to be interesting. So let's stir all that round. It's looking good already, isn't it? So what I want to do is just relax all these. Now, in the meanwhile, I'm going to make a bit of a stock. So we're using lamb. I bought these. This is a lamb stock pot. Looks quite good. I'm going to use 2 of those in there, and obviously some water. Let's put those away. Now, the other things you require for this is a tin of tomatoes, some tomato puree. We've got some herbs and spices that we're going to put in a minute. And of course, well, I'll show you these in a minute. What we've got is we've got some green lentils. So these I've just bought from Sainsbury's. Green lentils in water. Now, you can buy dry lentils and you might have them in your store cupboard. And again, with the same thing with the chickpeas. You might have those in your store cupboard. One of the problems with the dried stuff is that you have to obviously soak it overnight, which is a bit of a pain if you don't really know that you're going to do a dinner party. So I've bought these in cans. We have these in our larder all the time. Let's give that another stir. Right. So I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil in that. I really want to brown this off pretty quickly. Get that cooking. Right, in the meanwhile, let's move this out of the way. Let's have a look at our lamb rump. Now, as I explained, I'm going to put this in the show and tell a minute so you can just see it a little bit. So here we go. This is a lamb rump from our friend at Field and Flowers. As you can see, it's been sous vide for 3 hours. What that means is it's been boiled in the bag at a very low temperature, and it's totally cooked. So all I'm doing is warming this up. This is why I only need 50 minutes on it. Okay? So let's open that first. Let's have a look at that. And what we're going to do is I'm going to get my pan up first of all. So I'll try not to make some mess here. Let's get my pan up. All right. Right, give this a bit of a stir. This is going well now. I don't know if you can see on the overhead, but you've got little brown bits in the back. That's what I really want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a tiny bit of water. So come over here. And this is called deglazing. What you're basically doing is putting a bit of water in here. You can see it froth up. And what that's going to allow me to do is get all that loveliness off the bottom. All that brown stuck in stuff. Right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to spice this up a little bit. So again, at COOKBARN, we don't do loads of really complicated things. So I've got this as a Harara spice. So this is a typical Moroccan spice. Sainsbury's, 85p. The other thing I bought was tagine mix. So again, I think that was about £1. All right, we're going to use a tagine mix, I think. So I'm going to put about, I don't know, a sort of a good old sprinkling of that in there. This also does require some crushed chilies. So again, 85p from Sainsbury's. And we're going to put a little bit of those in. We're going to mix that round. Right. Next thing is we're going to put a can of tomatoes in here. So let's just open this can of tomatoes. There we go. And again, these are just Italian chopped tomatoes. Because basically what this is a tomato-esque soup. So that's going to go in. Let's put that away. Give that a stir around. We're going to put our stock in. So we've got 2 of these stock pots. These are lamb stock pots. If I can get them open. No, I can't. How do we get these open, Kath? With the knife, yeah. So one of my passions, as you know, is Spanish food. Having lived in Spain for 20 odd years, not many of you know. Actually, most of you watching actually know this. Is that Kathy and I, when we lived over in Spain before we had kids, we made a bit of a business of going over to Morocco. We used to buy artisan carved stuff. In fact, a lot of the stuff you see around the cook barn is 30 years old from when we went to Morocco, and we used to bring all this stuff back, and we used to sell it at Camden Market and stuff like that. And one of the things I sort of learned, I mean, Morocco is sort of like a far distant place, and it is very, very different to Europe. And one of the things I did sort of learn from that was that actually everyone and around Morocco, for example, everyone does everything really, really differently. So this particular soup, for example, I've had this soup 100 times while I've been going around Morocco, and it's always tasted different. Sometimes it's got no lamb in it, sometimes there's no carrots in it. It really depends what you've got. I'm going to put a bit of water in this. There we go. So I'm going to fill that with a bit of water. I'm then going to put in a squeeze of tomato puree. So this is a new one I just bought. So that's going to be like not a massive amount, but that sort of amount. What else do I need to put in there? Oh, I need to put some lemon. I'll put some lemon in at the end. That's doing well. And then, of course, we need to put our chickpeas. So I've got my can of chickpeas. They're going to go in. I've got a whole thing of lentils. You can see them there on the overhead. They're all going to go in. And I'm going to give that a good old stir. And then finally, I'm going to take probably about half of this parsley. Let's just move that out of the way a minute. Let's put that away because I don't need that anymore. Let's put that there. Let's put that over there. Let's just chop this parsley up. And again, all pretty rough, rustic food. There we go. I remember the first time I ever tasted this. We first went to Morocco about 30 years ago, and as I say, we travelled around. We bought stuff. I'm just going to do a little bit of tidying up. We bought stuff. We really, really enjoyed ourselves, and subsequently went back about 30 times. Travelled all around Morocco, made some very, very good friends. We actually dug out a few photographs for you to see. So I don't know if we could see the first one, which is of a very young Richard. There we go. So there's me in my jalaba. So one of the things I was going to talk to you about is cultural appropriation and cooking cultural appropriation. And as I've said, I'm cooking this soup. I've eaten this 100 times probably. I've seen people cook it. I've cooked it with Moroccan people. It's been done differently every time. So, this is a vegetable and lamb soup as far as I'm concerned. Just going back to the photograph a minute. That photograph is from a. Can we see the other one well, we see that one again. So that is me wearing a jalaba. This jalaba was bought by a really, really good friend of ours called Absam, who was our sort of guide and took us to loads and loads and loads of places. He bought me that jalaba. He put it on me and he insisted I wore it for the entire week that we were there. You can't see, but I'm also wearing some yellow slippers. Can we see the other photograph of we've got a photograph of Absalam and oh, there we go. So Absalam's obviously the one on the right. There's a very young Richard there. Oh, and there's a beautiful looking Kath, who's our director. Oh, look at all that hair. Fantastic. And then I think we've just got another photo. So that's Chef Showing in the background. That is the place that we absolutely loved. It was an incredible place. A lot of you probably recognise it from the next photograph because it's also known as the Blue Village. And all the houses are painted that blue colour. And when you get to the golden hour, about 6 o'clock at night, the whole village just glows. It's incredible. But I think that was actually our hotel. And we've spent many a lovely week in Morocco. So anyway, back to me. Back to a gin and tonic. Cheers. Right, we're not doing fantastically well because we're 20 minutes past and I haven't actually even put the lamb in. So we've got this lamb rump. This is the sous vide lamb rump. I'm going to take it out of the bag. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to get rid of this bag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my spices. I'm going to take some of the, this has got some garlic and rosemary on it already, which is great. But I'm going to get my tagine spices. This is a sort of a rub. I don't know if you can see that on the overhead, but I'm just going to douse that with this dry rub. Okay. Now what would be fantastic is to be able to leave this for half an hour to do its bit, but we haven't got half an hour, so that's going to go over there. I'm going to wash my hands a second. There we go. Let's wash my hands, dry my hands. Give this a good old stir. Oh, that's looking good. That's looking good already. What happens with this is in a little bit, what we'll do is we'll thicken this up right at the very, very end. What I am going to chuck in it, because I forgot, is put a little bit of turmeric in it. I've never really sussed out what turmeric does apart from make everything very orange, but it does have a very distinctive flavour and apparently it's a bit of a superfood, so there we go. That's looking good. So we've got our lamb ready. We're going to put our spices over here. Now what I'm going to do as well, just for our couscous, I want to make some nice peppers and I'm going to roast those up in the oven. So I've got some really lovely peppers here. Got some of these long red peppers. So I'm going to split those in half. And then with my knife, I'm just going to go through and take that little white inner bit out, which has got all the seeds in it, and there's a little bit bitter when you eat it. So that's going to come out. Okay. As I say, guys, I don't think we're going to be doing this in half an hour, so bear with us, because it will be worth it. So yeah, that's going to come out. That's going to come out. So we're going to chuck those in our pan. I'm just going to put these ones. I think I'm just going to halve these. Let's see if there's actually much in there. Oh, there was quite a bit in there. Yeah, let's just take that inside out. You can literally scrape it out with a knife. It's there we go. So 2 of those in. A couple of yellow. A couple of orange. Let's get that out. That one out. Another yellow one. Okay, we need to get this in the oven pretty damn quickly. Right, let's get rid of all this. Right, that's going to go. And then bizarrely what we're going to do is we're going to get a lemon. We're going to chop this lemon up in quarters. And that lemon's going to go in there as well. So let's bring that back over here. Let's give that a liberal dose of olive oil all over it. There we go. I'm not going to put too much over the lamb. I'm going to have a little drizzle on it, but not too much. So that's good. Then, of course, we're going to put some salt. Good old bang of salt in there. Some nice pepper. All right, and that's going to go in the oven. All right, and that's going to take us 18 minutes in the oven. Right. Oh, that's looking good. That's looking. I tell you, if you could smell this, guys, what it does need, which I did forget to put in there, is, of course, some seasoning. So, good old shout of pepper, big old thing of salt in there, and we will test all this, obviously, before we serve it out, and season to taste. So, I'm going to turn that down a little bit now. I'm going to talk to you about some wine, because my gin and tonic's run out. So here we go. I've got two bottles of wine and a very big glass. So let's have a look at that. So what I've bought, I've got today some Barefoot. So I don't know if you see this on the close-up camera. So this is Barefoot. I bought this in Sainsbury's, but they actually sell it at the Spa. I think they sell it in Co-op. So this is a gold medal. winner, which is actually really, really good for a bottle of wine that costs about £5.50. But the other one I've bought as well, which is again a barefoot, but it's a Moscato, which is a sweet wine. It's normally a pudding wine. And I know Kathy does like a pudding wine, so I thought, oh, let's buy this. And the reason I bought this one, a sweet wine, is because a lot of the stuff in Morocco is sweet. All the stuff that we're going to be cooking today is quite sweet. So I'm going to crack this one open first. Cheers, guys. Good Lord, that's sweet. Whoa. It's nice. It's nice. I'll tell you what it tastes like. Do you remember back in the day when you used to drink leaf row milk? It sort of tastes a little bit like that. It's a little bit too sweet. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pour that wine into the soup, and we're going to taste of the Chardonnay now, because that's the sugar and that's giving me a bit of a head rush. So let's taste the Chardonnay. Should we put those over there, or where should we put them, Kath? Let's put them out of the way. Okay. So let's have a taste of this one. Cheers, guys. That's better. That's the one I know and love. Right, what are we doing next? So we've got our lamb in, we've got our soup, which is just looking beautiful. I think what we're going to do next is our lamb. So here we go, our nice lamb rack from our friends at Field and Flowers. We have had this before, and it is lush. So now this particular cut, I don't know if you can see it. I'm just going to show you that cut a minute. Now that cut on the close-up, that's called French trim. It's a French trim. Now, I always thought a French trim was something completely different. But right, what I'm going to do, you can see you've got a close-up, excellent. So I'm going to cut this, and everyone's going to go, oh, don't cut it, Rich, don't cut it. But I'm going to cut these because I've got to cook them quickly. So I'm going to cut through those. So I've got my 3 lamb chops there. All right, and what I'm going to do is I've got some mint. This is out the garden, so I'm going to get some mint. Oh, it's alive, oh, my mint. I'm going to get some mint. I'm just going to chop that up. I'm going to get some coriander, which is this one here. That's going to go into it as well. So, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to get a bowl out. Have we got a bowl, we ask ourselves? Yeah, we have somewhere. That one will do. We're going to chuck all that in there. We're going to put some olive oil in it. That's good. We're going to get a lemon. I'm going to get half a lemon. There we go. Squeeze that lemon into it. Oh, look at that. All right, that lemon can go away. We're going to put some of our Harara seasoning, which, for anyone who wants to know, it's basically coriander seeds, dried garlic, and chili flakes. Nothing really complicated. A little skimmy of that in there. And I'm going to get my knife, and I'm just going to chuck these in there quickly, and I'm going to give them a real whiz round there, and just get that marinade. Oh, the mint just smells amazing. I'm going to leave that a minute. I'm going to have to go and wash my hands because I'm minted up. Right, that's all looking good. Right, how was our lambs doing? All right. I think we probably need to turn it up a tad. Right, what are we doing next? We're going to give our soup. Oh my God, that looks fantastic. That looks fantastic. You can see it thickening up. You actually thicken this up with flour, can you believe? I may not do it. It may be thick enough. Right, what am I doing next? Should we do some couscous next? Let's do some couscous. Right, couscous isn't something I actually like that much, I must say. I find it a little bit, I was going to say pointless, but pointless is probably the wrong word. I find something that actually, if it doesn't have any flavour to start with, the fact you've got to put flavours in there is slightly annoying. You know, rice, you cook some nice nutty rice and it tastes nice, but couscous is just what it is. A lot of people like it. So I'm going to chop an onion up. Okay, and there we go. I'm going to chop an onion up. I'm going to get my couscous pot out, which is just a saucepan really. And I've got my couscous here, so I'll just have a look on the show and tell cam. So that's what couscous is. I'll just show you what I bought. So it's just literally couscous, Sainsbury's, £1 a packet. I've used, I don't know, a tenth of that packet. You need roughly about 30 grams of couscous per person. There's 3 of us tonight eating, so it's about 100 grams of couscous. And what you need to add to that is about 150 grams of water. Let's give this a stir. So first of all, I'm going to get some butter in my pan. So I've got my ghee that I quite like because it doesn't burn. So I'm going to put some of that in there, get that on. And then we're going to start adding some nice things to that. I can't remember what I'm adding to it, but I'm adding some onion to it. I'm going to add some fruit, and I'm going to add some parsley and some. Let's get some of this out first of all. Oh, I'm making a mess now. There we go. So I'm going to get my coriander. Just take these ends off. Let's chop this coriander down. There we go. Again, nice and rough. The gin's in the way, Kath's saying, so cheers. That's all right. I'm going to put that out of the way. So, soup's doing well. Let's get that cooking up. So we're going to put the onions in. Get these fried up a bit. My couscous is getting ready. I need to put I need to get some boiling water, so I'm going to get my kettle on. As I say, I need 150 millilitres of water to go into that, so I'm going to get my measuring pan out. You've got to be sort of fairly precise with this. Let's turn that down a bit. I am going to check my lamb. Yep. That's looking okay. It's looking okay. Right, let's do, I'll tell you what we're going to do next. Very, very quickly, let's whiz up. Because we're not sort of going to be doing this in order because they're arriving in 20 minutes. Like in the fantasy world. 28 minutes past, is it? Now, Lisa Marie will love me because I'm taking the stalks off this. Hello to everyone watching. Hi, Louise. What camera are we on, Kath? That camera? Izzy's watching. Hi, Iz. She isn't going to like to eat any of this. She doesn't really like herbs that much. So don't burn my onions, okay? Give it a stir. There we go. That's all good. Right, let's get some mint in here. So we've got some mint in. We're going to put in, we've got some natural yogurt. Let's get a spoon out. Let's open our yogurt. We don't really need too much of this. This is just a sort of a drizzle stuff onto the. I've got about 5 big spots of. There we go. Let's put this in the sink. Right, onions are burning, Kath. So we're just going to take those off a minute. We're going to give that a little 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to swap that over. We've got the kettle boiling away, and we're going to get our frying pan up. Get some butter in that. We need another implement. Right, so let's get some butter in that. Right, we're going to put the lid on that. Which way does it go, Kath? So that way, yeah. There we go. My mixer, ta-da! 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 What's going on? Why isn't it working? Oh, that's my kettle. There we go. So that's my put that away. Let's get a dish out for that. Oh, there's no dishes. What are we going to do, Kath? We've got no dishes. I'll tell you what we could do. We could, Moroccans love using glassware for everything. So when you have a cup of Moroccan tea, it's actually in a glass. So there we go. That looks nice, doesn't it? Let's get that away. Right, we can put that there. We want to get our pork chops in. So how's that? Let's get that going. Oh, that soup looks amazing. I think the soup's going to be the best thing of the day. Right, glass of wine. It's all getting a bit too much. Okay, so we're going to get the lamb chops on. We need to make this couscous. So I'm going to, I must say, the reason we're having problems, guys, is because we've got a 5-burner hob. And unfortunately, I can only use 3 burners of it because the pan, the metal sort of pan things broke. Cookology sold me this hob. Don't go there. Don't buy a Cookology hob. I asked them to replace it. They said, no, sorry, can't do it. So if you're going to buy a hob, just don't go to Cookology. All right, what are we doing next? I'm going to have a glass of wine next because that's stressed me out. Right, I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Right, we've got. Right, let's put our couscous going. We're going to put our lamb chops in there. Is that hot? Yeah. So you can see these lamb chops. They've been marinated a little bit. They're looking good. We're going to put these in. And then all that beautiful stuff is just going to go on top of it like that. There we go. Into the sink. Right, let's get the couscous on. So all I've done so far is heat these onions up. So what's going to happen next is we're going to give that a stir. We're going to put our couscous in there when that's warmed up, and then we're going to put some water in it. We're going to put some herbs in it. I'm going to have a glass of wine. Sorry, so what's that? Don't slag off companies, Isabella's saying. Well, no, I wouldn't do, but customer service and all that. Right, I don't know if you can see that, Kath, because it's on a setting that you haven't got. But do a wide one, yeah. Because it's all going on at the hob at the moment. We've got our lamb chops cooking. We've got this beautiful, beautiful soup, which is amazing. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to get the rest of this part of this coriander, and I'm going to give this a chop up as well, because this is going to go into our couscous. How are we doing on time? Have they arrived yet, Kath? 7:34, is it? Oh, good Lord, I haven't even made my ice cream yet. Gonna have to get on with it. I did waffle for 10 minutes beforehand and show you some of our holiday photographs, didn't I? So there we go. Oh, just found an elastic band in there. Oh, don't want that. Oh, there we go. Let's move our wine glass. Yeah, I can see little bits of plastic. That's no good. There we go, Sainsbury's. Don't put a bloody elastic band around your stuff. Lucky it was a very small one. Right. Okay, so I'm going to take that off. Our water is hopefully boiling away. Right, couscous is going to go into that with some water in a minute. Let's just get that boiling. So what did I say? 150, you need 150 millilitres of water. Wow, that is, oh, soup is good. Right, we've got boiling water. Yep. All right, we go. 150 millilitres. So let's just measure that out. You've got to be a little bit exact with couscous because And I'm going to put a tad more in there, just because I know it's going to, right, so, into my pan, 100 grams of couscous. We're going to stir that around. We're going to put in our 150 millilitres of water. Okay, I'm going to put that on the heat. And we're going to heat that up. And in with that, we're going to chuck in a handful of raisins. We're going to put a few pistachio nuts just to throw them in. And we've got a load of parsley and coriander. That's going to go in as well. So we're going to stir all that round. I'm going to heat it up a little bit. We might need a bit of water in there. Right, my chops are sizzling away. Let's just turn those over. Oh, look at that. Right. They can be turned down. Right, our lamb can come out of the oven, I think, or I can turn it off at least. Have I got somewhere to put it? I haven't, Kath, no. And my couscous is doing well. It's doing well. I think I need a bit more water in the old couscous. Let's go there. All right. Oh, that's looking good. Right, that needs some salt and some pepper in it. Again, you know, you've got to season couscous because it really doesn't taste of anything at all. A little bit of salt in there. And I think we're pretty good with that. I'm going to try it a minute. See if it's cooked or not. Yeah, needs quite a bit more salt. There we go. I'm going to put a tad more water in that. It's just a little bit dry. There we go. Give that a stir around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that off and put a lid on it. So let's get that off. Let's put the lid on it. That'll just steam itself away. Right, I think my soup is looking good. It's looking good. That needs now a big old dollop of that in it, which is our coriander and our parsley. We're sort of getting to the point of getting ready. Right, what are we doing next? So we've got our soup, we've got our couscous, we've got our lamb. We need to get our lamb out of the oven in a minute. I'm going to leave it in there. I'm going to do a little bit of tidying up, and I'm actually just going to very, very quickly make your ice cream. Kathy's laughing at me. Right, let's get a pan out. So we've got a pan. Right, this is hopefully a really, really quick ice cream. So what I've got here is I've got a can of Coronation condensed milk. Okay, that's going to go in the pan like that. There we go. Even my wine glass, Kath's down. I shall down my wine glass. So we've got a tin of Coronation milk in there. I've got some double cream. Now, as you know, I don't measure anything, so I'm just going to sort of busk it a little bit, but I'm going to, so I don't know, about half and half, I reckon. So let's put that in there. What I do need to do, right, I'm just going to take these lamb chops off, and I just want to rest them a little bit. So let's just get ourselves a little resting plate out. Let's take these lamb chops out. Do not chuck that out. Do not chuck that out. That is fantastic in there. In fact, what I'm just going to do is just give that a bit of a, oh, that's just lovely, that is. Soup's doing well. Oh, only a minor burn there. Yeah, couscous is good. Right, last things last. Let's get my old chefette working, because no one has yet sent me a KitchenAid. So what I'm going to be using, this has actually arrived today. So this is pure pistachio butter by Cape. One cheap, it's about £8. Oh, Kathy heard that. It's about £8, but there's an awful lot in there. I've never used it before, but I've heard about it, so it does. Right, we're gonna, I don't know what we're gonna put in here. I reckon, I don't know. Let's put in 2 spoonfuls, eh? If it's not strong enough, we can always, oh, that's another thing that's alive. Oh, that's on the, all right, I'll clear that up after you go, guys, because I'm not gonna bore you. Right, I do need, because it's getting hot in here, there's another glass of wine. That soup, I'm gonna turn off, because that is just lush. You can't get much better than that. I do need a little refill. So this is the Chardonnay Barefoot. It's a £5. You get it on offer, it's a £5. If you go into Sainsbury's and do the whole 30% off or 25% off thing, which I told you about last time, you will get it cheaper. So we're gonna mix this up with the old mixer. I don't know if you can hear me when I'm talking over this, but now what's going to happen, hopefully, is the evaporated milk is going to thicken up with the cream. I can't hear a word you're saying, Kath, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn this off a second now, and I'm going to taste it, because if it hasn't got enough pistachio in it, then... Oh my lordy, 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 that's lush. Oh yeah. I'm going to put one more, I'm going to put more in there. I'm going to put another. So that was basically 3 teaspoons of this we put in there, but this is quite a lot. This is quite a big, there we go. So we're whizzing this up. It's going to take a couple of minutes, and what's going to happen is it's hopefully going to go thick. Being multitasker. Cheers, guys. And you can see that's getting a bit thicker. And get some air in this. You know, everything else is doing all right. Lamb chops are resting. We've got the lamb in the oven resting. We've got our, I'm actually going to put a little bit of water in that because it is a little bit thick. That's getting thicker. It's my dad's favourite ice cream, actually. It's many, many lovely holidays spent in Switzerland and Italy. And going across, and I remember my dad said to me, there's only one ice cream to eat, and it's pistachio ice cream. And that is completely true. It's right, well, I think that's pretty well combined. And considering I don't really know what I'm doing with this, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna give my super stir. I'm gonna put a little bit of water in with that because it's Oh, put a little bit of water in that and give it a stir around. I mean, if you could just smell that, guys, at home, it is just a whole pot of just lusciousness. Right, now I'm going to get my little device out of the freezer here, if I can. Now what this is you've probably seen this, is an ice cream cooler. You basically put it in the freezer and it cools it all down. Now you don't have to use one of these. You could actually get a couple of bowls like that, a small bowl, put it in a big bowl full of ice, and you can do the same thing. Now last time I made ice cream, I completely and utterly buggered it up because it just went really, really thick. So we're going to have a look this time. So I'm going to pour that into there. I'm going to have to give it a scrape with something. Yeah, I've been using that though, Kath. Let's get a spoon out. Let's get a spoon out. There we go. Now I wouldn't normally do this, but it just looks so nice. I don't want to waste any of it. So that's gone in there. All right, let's get rid of this a minute. I I've got to plate everything up soon, and that's going to be a lot of stuff. So I've got it in there, and I'm going to give it another whisk through. Soup's doing well, Kath. Soup's doing well. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to eat it before you come out. There we go. So I'm going to turn it off. Put my stuff off at the minute. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to leave this on the edge because I believe that I'm going to have to probably do something to that in a minute. Tastes bloody nice though. Even if it's going to be a milkshake, it tastes nice. Right, let's get in the oven. Oh, yeah, that was hot. So what have we got? Let's have a look at the. Can you see that on the close-up cam? Where's my? So we've got a lovely piece of lamb. We've got our peppers. So I'm going to plate this up, I think. Oh, actually, I'm just going to take it out of the pan first. Let's get a normal plate out. So let's get our piece of pork out. Now that, as I say, that was cooked before we put it in there. So what we've been doing is warming it up. Get our peppers out. Our other peppers. A couple of onions. All right, let's take that pan away. Don't throw that out. Do something with that. Make a soup or something. I would put it. Actually, yeah. Let's just put it in. Let's put it in the soup. Come on, Rich. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of squirts of lemon into the soup at the very end. But I've actually got a couple of roasted lemons there anyway. So let's use that. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. That's lush. Let's get that pan away. And we could sort of almost start plating up, I think, Kath. Let's have a look at how our ice cream's doing. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's getting thicker, it's getting thicker. Oh, that's looking good. I'm hoping that's going to set before we serve it out. But obviously, if you're doing this at home, that would sit in there. That would sit in there. For 20 minutes now while you're having your main course, so it actually would be set. So I'm not going to guarantee it's going to be set now, but right, let's go for our plating up, shall we? So let's get. So first of all, let's plate up our beautiful, beautiful soup because I think this is the hero of the day. Oh, you know what I've forgotten to do? Schoolboy error. It doesn't really matter too much, but one of the weird things about this soup in Morocco, it always has vermicelli in it for some reason. Never known why. Didn't have any vermicelli, which vermicelli is that sort of very, very sort of small, rounded stuff. So I've got some pasta out, and what I was going to do is I was going to break it up and put it in there. I don't think it matters too much. But let's serve this up. Let's have a look. So we've got plate of this. Let's get that wipe off. Good old liberal sprinkling of the old. So that's our first dish. So that's our harara soup. Okay. I'm going to move some stuff a minute because Kathy's going to moan at me otherwise. Cheers. Very hot in here now. Is everyone enjoying the show, Kath? Excellent. Right, our couscous. Let's get our couscous out. Oh, it's looking good. So we're going to serve our couscous up like this. It does look nice. It smells absolutely lush. So let's get rid of that. Oh, I don't use doing the washing up tonight, Kath, but it's not a good one. Right, what we're then going to do, so we've got the couscous, we've got our lamb, which we cooked up. This is the sous vide lamb. Now, I'm hoping that we're going to get a good shot of this, Kath. Is there anything in the way? Because I just want to show this to the close-up cam because this is just slush. Look at that. Look at that lamb. So thin slices of this. Can you see though, it's absolutely perfectly cooked. This is one of the things about sous vide, is that absolutely, which camera I'm on, that one. It's perfectly cooked. All we're doing is heating that up. You really, really can't bugger this up at all. How much does this cost? It's about, I don't know how much is this, Kath? It's about 11 quid. Have to go on the Field and Flowers website. It's a lamb rump. So we're going to get this lamb rump and we're gonna mix it onto our couscous. We're going to get some of our peppers. A couple of red peppers there. A couple of red peppers there. A couple of orange ones. We're doing a bit of a pattern. Oh, those are lush. We've then got our pork chops, our lamb chops even, which we're gonna, I don't know whether we're gonna do this, but sort of arrange them in a little bit of a, shall I bring that over here a bit, Kath? And then we're gonna get some pomegranate seeds. That's gonna go all across the top. We've got our pistachios, which are going to go around. Oh, and then a little bit of garnish over the top. So that now is our lamb course. Right, let's see what our ice cream's doing. Let's get a final stir. Oh, I'm majorly caught up cable-wise. Oh, it's looking good. So let's get our glass out. Now, you know, this is an ice cream, but it's a Moroccan ice cream. It's very, very hot in Morocco. It never works for them. It's a cocktail, it is indeed. And to make this look beautiful, what we're going to do is we're going to get some pistachio nuts over the top of it. We're going to get some over the top of it, and let's do a nice arrangement. Oh, my lamb's alive. So let's make this look nice, and I'm going to come around and tell you all about this. So have we got everything? We have. We've made everything, Kath. Can't quite believe it. I do need that glass of wine though. Right, shall we have a look at it? Wow, 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 wow. I'm going to just move this in for a bit of a close-up. So we've got our couscous, which we cooked with some red onions, and we put some spices in there. We put a lot of herbs. We put some, obviously the couscous in there as well. And we've got a lamb, sous vide lamb that's going over the top of it. It's just give us a bit of meat, and then we've got some nice lamb chops at the top. Absolutely stunning. See what you can actually do. You see, this is what I should have done. It's a bit of that over there for the colour, isn't it? Look at that. Wowee. The harara soup, which is, I think, my favourite today. We've got a mint yogurt, which you can sort of just drizzle wherever you want. And we've got a pistachio milkshake, ice cream milkshake. I'm just going to show you that in close up because it does look lush. From there, look at that. And we've done that in roughly an hour. But there we go. It's always, it's good. Where are we going, Kath? So, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Are we going to a close-up, Kath? No? It's all right. No, of me? No. Do you remember we talked about that an hour ago? No, it's all right. No, you know, you're not doing it today. I'm not going to look at the camera. No. It was going to be that camera and a close-up of me, wasn't it? Go on then. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good job you're not doing the cooking, Kath, isn't it? Because you can't operate one of the cameras. Should we go for it or not? Yeah. Go, cut. Go on. There we go. Too many gin and tonics in the gallery, I think. All those memories of Morocco. Thank you so much for joining us on a Friday night. If you did, if you're watching us on a Saturday, why weren't you here on a Friday? It's great for you to join us and spend an hour of your time. I hope you like what we cooked. We're going to eat it now, and it's going to be fantastic. If you want to come over and join us, you know where we are. Join us next Wednesday. Not quite sure what we're doing next Wednesday. It's going to be what we're doing, Kath. Don't know. Anything. We're going to do something. If you want us to cook something specifically, write in. I might do a Spanish paella next week. Might do something Spanish. Who knows? Thank you for joining us, guys. It's a Friday night. I'm going to now finish off the rest of this wine, eat my food, my Moroccan cuisine, and get drunk and enjoy the weekend. You have a fantastic weekend. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday for another COOKBARN TV. Thank you. Bye-bye.